Okay, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Froggy Friday. Today is October 25th, 2024. It is my husband's birthday today, Neil Clausen. He is 21 again and again and again and a bit. So thanks to all of you who sent him love on Facebook and Instagram. My name is Reverend Barbara Samuel, and I am co-spiritual leader along with Reverend Gwen Smith, who sends her love to all of us as she is healing perfectly in perfect time and perfect space. Thank you. She thanks you for holding that, continuing to hold that high watch for her. So today we have me delivering the talk, and it is called Here I Am, God, Use Me. So I want to welcome all of you here. If this is your first time, I want you to know that we are a community of inclusive, mutual lovers of love who welcome everybody around the globe. And we have representation in our beautiful Center for Spiritual Living Kenya community from around the globe here today. Hello, Christine. Hello, Patrick. I see you. Hello, Reverend Claire. I see you popping in as well. So good to see everybody. So what we do on this beautiful day, if you don't know, is we come in with treatment. We do a soft meditation. We go into some singing together. I will deliver a message, an inspirational, hopefully inspirational message of love. And we will be in community. And if you have an opportunity for some questions and answers, that's wonderful. And if you're looking for treatment, which is a 2-minute miracle, if your life is wonderful and you want more of that, we can pray for you and know that. If you're experiencing some challenges or hardships and you want somebody to know the best for you, we have trained practitioners right here in this very Zoom room who can hold that high watch for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up with Paul in a treatment, and we'll move into Alfred with meditation. Take a breath, friends. Welcome to this moment in your lives.
Thank you. So let's get centered. Take just a few minutes to remind ourselves of this truth. That God is the only reality. God is the only thing. God is the only power, the only energy that is expressing itself in this entire universe. And I know I'm an expression of this God. This is what I know to be true of myself, and I know this to be true of each and every one of us. We are channels. We are expressions of this one. In different forms, in different places, in different experiences. Nothing but the same one, expressing itself as each and every one of us. And with this realization, I declare and I know that this perfect God is expressing itself right here and right now in this service, in each and every one of us, expressing itself in the connection that we have through the internet, expressing itself in the message that we'll be receiving from Reverend Barbara, expressing itself as us when we receive this message perfectly and in the right time and in the right order. I'm grateful for this realization. I'm grateful for this truth. And I'm grateful for each and every one of us, for the communion, for the sharing, for the love, and for the teaching that takes place and expansion of consciousness. I'm really grateful for this. And I release my word into the law, knowing that even as I speak it, it has taken shape. And so it is.
At this moment, as we affirm this truth, that we are all born to love each other, please find a comfortable position. Placing your hand on your lap, palms upwards and close your eyes. In this moment, go within to that place of inner quiet where we experience our inner connections with the inner self. Let go of all thoughts and begin to observe the inflow and the outflow of your thoughts. With each inhalations and exhalations, allow yourself to become more comfortable and more at peace. At this moment, gently bring your attentions for these contemplations and allow it to flow with effort ease. At this moment, bring your attention to these contemplations and allow it to flow with effort ease for 3 minutes. Today, I behold all the love that surrounds me. Today, I behold all the loves that surrounds me. For 3 minutes. Today, I behold all the love that surrounds me. Today, I behold all the love that surrounds me. If you have done, please, you can gently open your eyes and bring your attention to this session. Thank
You're muted, Reverend Barb. You're muted.
Well, you missed just what I said. Thanks.
And it was wonderful. It was wonderful. I could tell by the way you were moving.
I said, thank you, Pat. I said, what a beautiful way to start our morning evening, with Paul indicating in his treatment the perfection of God expressing as us. And then we piggyback that with Alfred saying, today I behold the love that surrounds me. That's powerful. Take a breath, friends. Take a breath. You have arrived in a beautiful moment, and we are so glad that you are here. So we're going to start as we do all things. We start singing. So feel free to unmute and just let your heart shine as we come together as one. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are a part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are a part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. Take it up. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are a part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. When it's all said and done, we are one. One. Hey, we are in good voice today. Look at our choir singing. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for that. Oh, take a breath, buckle up. Here we go. Here we grow. Can I please have all the perfectionists in the Zoom room, past and present, just raise your hand or your avatar hand. There's only one, hey? Only one perfectionist in the room. Okay, thanks, Jesha. Thanks. Thanks for your courage. Thank Paul. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Feel free to lower your hands. Okay. I invite you to imagine this scenario. A 9-year-old is participating at a track and field of their elementary school. It's happening in a week at the end of the school year as it wraps up. If you aren't sure what a track and field is, it's a series of sporting events that involves races and jumping and other feats of physical strength. Back to your imagination. You are 9 years old in grade 3 because that's advanced, because you accelerated and skipped grade 2 because everyone told you that you were so smart. Now you're the youngest in your school class. Back to track and field. Now you're competing with older kids. You have so much pressure on you to win your races, your 55 and 100-yard dash. Back in your imagination, it was yards, not meters. You're racing in this 55 to 100 meter yard dash competition because everyone thinks that you're much more mature, smarter, and able. In fact, more than you actually believe you are. You don't know why they think that, because you're just being you. But what you do know is that you feel pressure. Anyway, every day after school, you go home, you measure out 55 and 100 yards in the sidewalk outside of your house, and you run and you run and you run and time yourself for hours, for days, for weeks. Why? Well, of course, to win and be perfect, to please others, fulfill other people's ideas of who they think you are and who you're meant to be. Because everyone has told you that you're perfect. Is this your story? Of course not. It's mine. It's my story. But those few of you who raised your hands, and even those of you who didn't at the beginning of this morning, you may have your own perfection story of running a race over and over and over to win a race that you don't even understand. Spiritual fam, this really is a true story. That was really my experience. Now listen, when the goal of practice is perfection, what we're really doing is suffocating our experience and cutting it off from that life-giving essence. However, if the goal of practice is not perfection, but to recognize the beauty and the possibilities available to us in imperfection, that is when we begin to create an expansive experience of life. Happy Friday, friends. Happy Friday. Happy Froggy Friday, everybody. What we're doing here today is we're walking together on this sacred path of radical acceptance. And rather than striving for perfection every day and today and every day, we are discovering how to love ourselves into wholeness. And that's the journey. So I always say, buckle up your spiritual seatbelts. I have learned to understand that the pursuit of perfection is a misunderstanding that limits my experience and potential. Instead, as I've grown, as I've matured, as I've aged, I have begun to embrace that as I celebrate and view the imperfections in my life as opportunities for growth and personal self-discovery, well, I'm winning the race. I'm winning that challenge, and I'm winning every moment, every single time. Here's what I mean. By letting go of the idea of not good enough or not yet, we begin to free ourselves from self-imposed limitations and open the door to infinite possibilities. We talk about that in classes. The potential is infinite, never ending. We do this through self-compassion, self-acceptance. We cultivate a deep sense of wholeness and begin to embrace all aspects of ourselves, including our perceived imperfections. That's why I loved that Paul talked about the perfection of God and his treatment, expressing as us. When we begin to introduce practical strategies to navigate the challenges of life with patience, grace, resilience, it's then that we begin to discover the power of reframing our perspective, shifting from a critical lens to one of gratitude and appreciation for the unique and individual journey that we're on, yeah? By embracing imperfection and living authentically, it's then that we begin to align ourselves with the truth of who we are. And we begin to experience then a profound sense of joy and fulfillment. And then we recognize that life's perceived imperfections are not all obstacles, but in fact, stepping stones towards our personal and spiritual growth. In the past, to me, perfection was defined as the need to be or appear to be perfect and was based on the belief that perfection was even possible. Here's a question. What distinguishes perfectionism from failures? Well, it turns out the difference is pretty straightforward. And the question is not the distinction of them, but rather how do each of those affect, effect, and infect and inject into me? In a perfectionistic mindset, a mistake equals failure, and failure equals a lack of personal worth and value. On the other hand, failure is a less outcome-oriented and fear-driven mindset. Did you hear that? When we welcome mistakes instead of fighting them, the process itself begins to spark joy. Within the next couple of minutes of our time together this morning, I want to assemble a simple toolkit for recovering perfectionists, those of us who raised our hands and those who didn't. And I would like to encourage us to stay open from the, if I fail, what will they think, to what can I do to improve if I feel I have met less than my personal mark. And here's some of my favorite tools for the expansion of a new outlet for perfectionism. Oh, maybe I can bring this up. Let me see if I have this. Hold on, I'm going to try and share this. Bear with me. Hold on. Okay, can you see this? Okay. An awareness anvil. An awareness anvil for forging new attitudes towards perfectionism. A curiosity chisel for chipping away false beliefs. And a liberation ladder for bringing you creativity to new heights. Okay, so I want to break this down for you. Awareness, the awareness anvil, is what the anvil is. I would have to go back to shop class, to metal shop work class. It's a metal with a flattened top, which is used as a surface for hammering new tools into shape. Similarly, awareness is the foundation of any toolkit because it provides the space you need to forge new habits instead of getting stuck using ones that don't work, like perfectionism or self-criticism. Without self-awareness, it's hard to see how perfectionist tendencies are holding us back in our life. For me, my perfectionism, and this is just for me, you'll discover your own if you are or if you do. My perfectionism is loudest in 3 areas of my life: my relationships, my work, and my passion. Because I strongly identify with being a good friend, a good employee, a good colleague, a good associate, a good minister, a good wife, a good mother, a good friend, a good worker, a good artist in many avenues of my life. And in the past, I have had unrealistic expectations of myself in all of those roles. Even the smallest mistakes could derail me, turning my normal, flexible, and positive self into a rigid and self-critical monster, even calling myself names. And I've said it before, nobody has beat me up more than I have beat myself up. And in fact, if somebody has attacked me like I have attacked myself in the past, called myself names, I would have them arrested. Play with me for a minute, if you're up to it. Try bringing some awareness to the way small missteps or oversights affect you. I'm going to say a couple of statements, and I want you to think, how do these next statements feel to you when I say them? And can you relate to any of them? And if not, that's cool. That's okay. Here's one. I have set impossible standards in the past of my life. It's been an all or nothing thinking. I have been highly critical of myself. I have been pushed by fear, focusing only on results. Saying any of these things relate to you? Any of these phrases? How does your view of yourself change when you hear that? Are you uncomfortable? Is your body having different sensations? Can you picture a positive future? Or is it all doom and gloom? Or instead of judging these reactions, if you're having them, can you see each of them as a stepping stone towards getting to know yourself and your perfectionism? So we talked about the first one, the awareness anvil. And we talked about awareness is curative. Here's the second, the curiosity chisel. I love this one. I love it because curiosity is a fantabulous tool. It's magnificent. And once we've cultivated more awareness, we talked about the awareness anvil. Once we've cultivated that and become aware of our perfectionism, then it's time to chip away at the false beliefs that form its foundation. And rather than taking a sledgehammer to our entire value system, because that's alarming, I'm going to recommend that we use a gentle curiosity chisel. So in the real world, chisels are slow. They're a slow creative tool for uncovering the full potential of what's hidden inside that block of material. Similarly, getting curious about your values and beliefs that shape your perfectionist mindset will allow you to move from perfectionism into healthy living. And this, friends, is achieved by chipping away at negative beliefs that hold you back while revealing the positive aspects of your perfectionism. It's like goal setting and motivation. Take a breath. It's a lot. It's a lot, I know. Approaching your perfectionism with open-ended questions instead of judgment or fear allows and establishes that you're committed to healing yourself with a chisel instead of a sledgehammer. You don't have to beat the crap out of it. You don't have to beat the crap out of yourself. You don't have to do that. Because here are some questions that help me dig deeper into when I notice that perfectionism is starting to set in again. My God self, who always calls me Barbara, catches my attention like my mama used to do. Barbara, what are you frightened of that will happen if you fail? It's ruined. Everyone will hate me. I'll lose everything. Is that true? Another question. How does perfectionism keep you safe? Well, it keeps me safe from embarrassment. I feel in control. Does it? Another question I ask myself, is there something that you need to hear right now, Barbara? I'm okay. Mistakes are part of growing. I have people I can talk to. The third that I talked about, the awareness anvil, the curiosity chisel, is the liberation ladder. Demanding perfection of yourself, and by extension, let me tell you, the people around you, can snuff out the spirit of experiment or spontaneity because the risk of messing up appears too daunting, too scary. The key word here is appears, because in reality, mistakes don't need to feel like they're such high stakes. Convincing your inner perfectionist that failure isn't scary. Now, I'm here to tell you that's going to take some time and some patience. If you're climbing out of your comfort zone, it feels uncomfortable. I recommend truly taking it one step at a time with the liberation ladder. And I want to encourage you to be a beginner. Most perfectionists have the habit of staying in their lane and sticking with work that they excel in. If this sounds like you, it might be time to sign up for a class in a totally new medium, or volunteer somewhere that takes you out of your comfort zone. Go to any environment where you feel excited about learning and open to making mistakes. Listen, I want to encourage you to be a collaborator. Working with people can be messy, whether it's in a relationship or a creative project. I feel collaborations are the antidote to perfectionism because they require giving up control and trusting the process. Look around this Zoom room right now. Who could be your next great collaborator, your next greatest teacher to expand you, grow you, shake it up? I'm really excited about our center. Here's why: because we have a lot of programs running here at the center. And there's a lot of outside of the box thinking, ideas, procedures, protocol that I've never contemplated before. And I love it. I actually love it. It's fresh, it's new, it's innovative, it's collaborative, it's frustrating, it's scary, it's daunting. It's not just one thing. It's all of those things, because some of them are unfamiliar, unknown territory, and everyone has different opinions, ideas, and thoughts of how things should get done. But because of the foundation of the work that I've put in through this teaching, this science of mind, I'm ready. And I know you're ready. Now, that's when the excitement comes, the trust, the exhilaration, the inspiration. And I see the perfection that Paul talked about as God expressing in his treatment. I see the perfection in everyone at every moment. And it's beautiful. You may hear me say, if you stick around to the end, at the end of every Froggy Friday, I always say, go forth and shine the love and light that you are. Well, today I say, go forth and fail. Fail. If you're anything like me, a detailed toolkit like I've just shared can morph into sticky spider web expectations and pressure. Hello, perfectionism. But thankfully, your new tools can help, so failure isn't so frightening anymore. Go forth and fail. You've got your awareness anvil for acknowledging and accepting any feelings or sensations that come your way. You've got the curiosity chisel for carving into your perfection to uncover your hidden beliefs, and you've got the liberation ladder for stepping into the most creative and innovative self that you are. Then we can say, goodbye, perfectionism, until we meet again. Because we're constantly learning, friends. We're constantly learning. Imagine that you could make the world a better place just by making a tiny shift in your own inner harmony. That's what we always try to do here. Every message I share with you, every song I sing with you, every technique our teachers are sharing, any insights that we all share with you weekly, that's what we're trying to do here at CSLK. But of course, ours are not the only valuable ones. Your personal insights are what will change your life for you. Are you willing? Are you ready? Are you open? I think you are. I believe you are. My name is Barbara Dawn Samuel, and I'm still a recovering perfectionist, and every day is better as I bring compassion to my personal inventory of my life, continuing to love myself back into wholeness. I am no longer that 9-year-old little girl determined to please others by fulfilling their ideas of who they think I should be, because I have my own tools that I have learned that empower me. I have a community that supports me, and I have deep clarity of who I am. And that's how I know I'm here today, that I can be all I'm meant to be with you, through God, as God, because of God. Will you join me? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thoughts, questions, reflections, let's share. Maybe now you've recognized you, in fact, are a perfectionist and you'd like to recant you're not raising your hand. So let me ask that question now. Are there any perfectionists, past or present, in the room? Oh my goodness. Any thoughts?
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Reverend
Reverend
Barbara,
Barbara.
for sharing. It's brought back my struggle with perfectionism. And I mean, I can trace this to when I was a kid, trying to impress first my parents at home. And they really, really wanted me to be the top of the class, top of my group in form of good behavior, a well-behaved child, this perfect child. And so I think I grew up with this, and even in adulthood, and try to be perfect in everything. I mean, in my schoolwork, in college, and even outside there among my friends, I'm just trying to be a top. And there is a class that I took last year that was dealing with this. And but so I'm still grateful for you raising up and just reminding me that I need to surrender to, if I surrender to the divine, I mean, it will bring creativity, and then I can even achieve much more than if I'm fixated on being the best person in this and the best in doing this and that, and trying to please others, trying to appear to always be on the top.
Mm. Thank you for that vulnerability, Christopher. It's so true. I really appreciate your story. And so many of us can relate to that story of pressure of childhood and somebody else's idea of who they think we are or should be. So thank you for that sharing. Paul and then Lady T. Paul, will you share? And then Lady T.
Thank you. Actually, I don't want to share. I want to ask a question. Now,
Yes.
maybe just to, you can tell us how do you marry the fact that God is perfect and His word is perfect the way it is, and like now trying the perfectionism, which kind of is a challenge. Yet we are supposed to see everything as perfect.
If I heard you right, Paul, and tell me if I'm wrong, your question was, how do I ratify that I want to see everything perfect in the world, but in fact, it's not perfect. The world doesn't, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying actually the world is perfect. So that when I like I'm practicing perfectionism, am I not trying to express that perfection? You know, because we are supposed to see the world as perfect because God is perfect. Are you getting the?
I think I'm understanding what you're saying. Yes, the world is perfect if we look through God's eyes, but our human eyes see something very different sometimes. There are experiences and actions that are painful and disturbing and unknown, and those things become frightening. And so when we look through our expectation of perfection is what we're talking about, the expectation of what my idea of perfection is, we may be slighted. We may be confused. Am I talking about am I going where you're mentioning?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So yes, when we look through God's eyes, that all of it is perfect, even when there's loss or destruction or horrific things that are happening in the world. I always say this too is good, this too is God. So when in our pocket of the world, in your right here, your bubble, you can maintain that peace, that power, that perfection, that understanding. And we react from a place of kindness and wholeness. Returning back to wholeness is what I was saying. We are no longer pulled into the destruction of what the world may be experiencing through other eyes. If we keep our eyes steadfast, if we keep our focus on that perfectionism, then our world, our part of our world, this bubble where you're in right now is perfect. And we get to take that perfection out. Pat, you look like you had something different to say.
Well, it's not so much that it's different, but I think there's like God is perfect, life is perfect, all is
Yep.
perfect, all is good. And then there's our human desire for perfectionism, perfectionism as opposed to perfect. Because even on our journey, right, to be the fullest expression, the greatest expression of all there is, of God is good, of all that goodness, right? We do it through, we put pressure on ourselves. We try to be like perfectionism is the action, right? Where perfect is the truth. I don't know if that's making sense.
Thank
Like
you, Pat.
perfectionism is something that I'm doing in my mind and with my limited thinking, because there is already limitless possibilities for everything. And so part of it, I think part of what you were saying, I liked when you touched on how we respond to what we see as ourselves not being perfect, right, is with love and kindness. And that's how we do it for ourselves, and then we do it for everybody else.
Does that
I think
help, Paul? Reverend Pat, no, you're good. That's good. I appreciate that. Paul, does that help you?
Thank you. Yeah, very much. Thank you very much. That's a very clear explanation. Thank you.
Very clear. Thanks, Pat. And Lady T, you had a comment or a question?
Can you put up the anvil and the 3 items again, please?
Yes, let me see if I can. Let me copy and paste it if I can, because I put that in the thing.
And I have a comment.
Yes, please. Let me talk. Well, let me hear a comment while I'm doing this.
All right. Thank you for the powerful presentation. And it reminded me of 2 points I came across some time ago. Actually, they are quotes. One says, failure is not a person. We try something to do something, we fail, then we say, I'm a failure. Failure is not a person. We describe somebody, but it's not a person, because you can always succeed when you keep on trying. And then failing is a proof that you tried.
Ha.
Yeah, because if you didn't try, then you would have failed. And because you failed, now you are wiser. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you, Patrick. Wayne Gretzky, who I actually knew personally and grew up with in Edmonton, Alberta, who is a very famous hockey player, always said you fail 99, you fail 100. What did he say about the shooting? Oh, now I was about shooting. Just a
You
minute. I'm
fail
going to look.
100 times of what you never tried.
That's right. That's right. Thank you.
Something like that,
Thank you.
yes.
Thanks, Patrick. Yeah. Duke, your hand is up. Thank you, Patrick.
Yeah, I'm glad that Patrick has reminded me also something I read this morning. I was reading a book by Frank A. Ritchie, and I found a very good statement, which is concurring with what Reverend Baba's just said this evening. And it reads that regardless of what you have gone through, or regardless of how things appear on the surface, here is the most beautiful opportunity to experience a new beginning.
Mm.
And
Oh, I
when
can
this new beginning comes to you, it will be in the flash of the moment. It was really a very, very beautiful statement, which gave me a very powerful insight. And it goes on saying, and it can be this moment if you are ready to let go of all your resistance and simply accept wholeheartedly what you already know deep within.
Ain't that the truth? Woo!
So it's really encouraging word from Reverend Bob, and when I connect it with what I read this morning, I really become very, very, very enriched this evening.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much, Reverend Bob.
That's the synchronicity of spirit, isn't it? I just love that. The synchronicity of spirit. You're reading something, we get to piggyback it with this, you know, and it all wrapped around Paul and Alfred's treatment and meditation. We just keep layering and building. To me, that's God in action, and that's perfect. Mathoni, you had your hand up, friend.
Thank you, Reverend Bob. That was awesome. Yes, there seems to be just a line of learning. It is difficult to expect the wonderful ending to your sermon today. Go ye and fail. That is so encouraging. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Go forth and fail, my friend. Thank you, Jack. So grateful. Oh, you're all filling my soul. This is why we're here. This is why we come together in community. This is why we do what we do. If there's no other questions, and if there are, you can jump in. I'm going to invite Michelle to make any announcements that we may have, and then we'll do our offertory. And Patrick, if you would do a closing benediction, because we don't have who was going to do it with us. If you would be willing to do that, that would mean a lot to me. Michelle Taylor.
Yes. So, sorry about the loud snoring from my son, but we only have we're looking for teens 13 to 18 for in-person camp, which is held in Nairobi. So if you have a 13 to 18-year-old, we have ones who've come before, but we have new people and we don't know yet about their children or grandchildren. So it's a 4-day camp. The kids have a blast. They love it. We're hoping that it doesn't rain this year. And it's about science of mind. They come together, they do activities together, they help with the food, and it's just a really lovely time for our kids to have a chance to experience other children with like mind, and they beg to come back every year. So please, if you have a new child, let us know. And that's all of our news.
Okay, that's the news. Thank you, Michelle. I'm grateful. Okay, so listen, we have an opportunity to come together and contribute to our beautiful community. And we do that by being the peace in the world and imagining that we're living peacefully, and that the divine in me recognizes and honors the divine in you. And we know that for our center. And we know that for our center as we give from our heart, knowing that we are an organization that runs solely off of your love offerings and those around the world who see good in our community. So I want to invite you to unmute. I'm going to repeat these 2 sentences and I want you to echo me. And I want you, if you are in North America, to know that you can go to cslkenya.org to donate. And if you are in Africa, you can contact Nancy and share your good via M-Pesa. Unmute, unmute, unmute. Everyone unmute. Patrick, Michelle, everyone unmute. I am filled with the energy of abundance.
I am
filled with the energy of abundance.
Abundance.
I am willing to share my financial good with my spiritual community.
I am willing to share my financial good with my spiritual community.
And if I could have you please, Patrick, close us out with a closing benediction. Know that we love you, sending love from Reverend Gwen. I've passed all the messages that you have shared with me to give to her. Winnie, thanks for the call yesterday. Everybody, she sends her love. Now, we see you, we know you, we love you, we cherish you. Go forth and fail this week and shine bright. Patrick.
Yes, and as we come to this point where we have to say where we have to say goodbye, we are thankful. We are thankful for this 1 hour. 1 hour of learning, 1 hour of connection, 1 hour of being together, 1 hour basking into that one infinite knowledge, one infinite wisdom. And we are glad, we are thankful for this. And we are here to succeed. But before we succeed, we have to fail. And know it's a good thing to fail, because when we fail, we know we have tried. And so we are thankful. And until we meet again, we go forth in trying and failing and succeeding. And so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
Thank you, Patrick. Claire and Michelle, will you hang out in this room with me for a moment? And is there anybody who requires treatment? Practitioners, stay in the house till we figure it out. I don't see any hands, Pat. All right. People are going to live their lives and celebrate the joy that they bring. Jesha, Patrick, Lady T, Christopher, Phyllis, Christine, to the beautiful billionaires in the house, James and Nancy and Phyllis and Michelle and Charity and Karen and Mathoni and Jack and Claire and Patrick. Bless you, bless you, bless you.
And the baby.